coverage beginning on your Fox Regional Network.
It's time for Wave 3 Listens Live on Kentuckiana's first live local TV talk show, all hosted by John Ramsey. This is Wave 3 Listens Live.
And welcome to the Thursday edition of Wave 3 Listens Live. It's a beautiful day, and we've got a beautiful show. Here we go. American senior communities are here. We're going to talk about knee rehab, and if you have someone in your family maybe going through a knee or hip replacement, what you can do to be proactive. Krispy Kreme Donuts is in the house. You know it's a great show when Krispy Kreme is here. Avante Skin Center of Louisville, so you can eat the donuts, put on a little weight, and they'll make you look good despite that. And also the Kentucky Association of Marriage and Family Therapists, Dr. Eli Karam is here. One of my absolute favorite guests. If you have a question about a relationship that maybe you're going through a little bit of a dilemma now, perhaps it's an issue with your husband, maybe a stepchild, whatever the case may be, give us a call, 571-5263. We'll be fielding calls in the next segment. But first, Dr. Karam, in this segment, got a little specialized, maybe a little focused kind of therapy
that we're
going to do here?
I got some guests here with me, John. I have two guests here with me today. You know, often people talk about in couple therapy, what specific type of couple therapy do you offer? And while there are many things that unite all marriage and family therapists, the idea of seeing strength and health and even the most constrained type of family or couple, focusing on multiple systems, what's going on at home, what's going on at work, and involving generations, different family members. There are specific approaches to couples therapy, and that's what we're going to talk about today. One of the most empirically research-supported models. Couples therapy is both an art and a science, and what we're going to talk about today with my friend and colleagues over here. This is Patricia Sheldon and Michael Taylor. They're both licensed marriage and family therapists, and they know a lot about emotionally focused therapy, also called EFT. So that's what we want to talk about, and if you have questions in the next segment, you can certainly call in. But EFT is a certain way of working with couples that, as the name says, prioritizes emotion. So guys, what do you find appealing about the model? What got you into emotionally focused therapy? Because you are a couple of EFT experts.
Well, I think probably the biggest thing is that it really helps folks feel safe and connected. It's about helping couples, and one of the things Dr. Johnson in her work talks about is that when we feel safe, when we feel like we can actually reach out to our partner and find comfort in there, it's sort of like a ship coming in from the storm into their harbor. They're safe again, they're secure, and they don't have to be worried about being buffeted about by the storm so badly. So it really helps partners be safe for one another.
Yeah, and Patricia, how would you say it's different than some of the other approaches that people talk about or you see on TV with behavioral approaches or things like that? How would you describe it to somebody that's trying to say, is EFT the right type of couples therapy for me?
Well, the model tends to focus on the idea that we keep going at our communication with each other, the way that we try to solve problems, the way that we try to connect in particular ways, and we keep getting caught in what we call the dance. It's a pattern of we keep fighting over the same things over and over again. We never really solve them. We kind of fall out of it. We either retreat or come back at it again the same way, and it never really solves. So in EFT, it's a structured approach. It's short-term compared to other models. It's a 10 to 20 session model, generally speaking, depending on what's happening. And there's a structured approach to what we're doing, and we're always looking to create safety, help people find new ways to experience each other and communicate with one another so that they don't keep going at things the same way.
Yeah, a lot of times on the show we talk about patterns and cycles, and they look a little different for each couple. What are some common patterns that an emotionally focused therapist might help a couple kind of unpack and decipher?
The most common pattern we see is what in the field we call pursuer distancer, and what that means is somebody in their way to connect is going after their partner, bringing up the problems, trying to solve the problems, being more proactive, and I'm going after this so that we can be close. And often their way to do that provokes in their partner more of a I'm pulling back. I can't handle this. Whatever's happening is stressing me out. I shut down. I don't really like what's happening. And that pattern we see probably, I would say,
I think she says it's about 80% of the problems come in have that kind of pattern to them. So that, like, if you have a partner, we were talking about sort of withdrawing as a handling things, right? And I'm trying to work things out. I get panicked now because I don't have my partner when I'm feeling upset or anxious, and I really want somebody to help me feel better, and my partner withdraws and shuts down on me. I get scared then. My fear goes up instead of going down. So
yeah, a lot of times, you know, we think that couples, when one partner withdraws, it's because they're pissed off at their partner, they don't want to talk to them. But a lot of times, as Michael's telling you, it's this primal kind of fear. And what EFT does is it looks at what we call primary emotion. And can you guys label some of those primary emotions for our viewers out there? Because really, you know, everything else is just kind of a smokescreen, and it's harder for couples, even couples that love each other, to kind of show what's underneath. Everybody can be upset or frustrated.
Angry,
those aren't primary emotions. What are primary emotions?
So for me, it's kind of like secondary is what I see at the top. What's my anger is showing. I'm really pissed off. I'm hollering at you. I'm getting big and loud. But if I looked at what's happening really underneath, in the primary sense of this, my fear is I'm going to lose you. I don't know what to do with this. I'm confused. I'm afraid. I'm ashamed. I feel guilt. There are a lot more tender underneath pieces that if we can understand those, we have a better way to move, versus angry is just, for me, it's what's easier for people to do, like slamming doors, hollering. It's just an easier, but the primary part, it's harder to talk about, really.
So if you want to see an EFT therapist, they're going to help you kind of express what's underneath your frustration. They're going to help you with those more primary vulnerable emotions. They're going to help you express loneliness, guilt, in a real structured way. So if you're thinking at home, is this for me? If you have a hard time doing that, an emotionally focused therapist who's also a licensed marriage and family therapist, an LMFT, can help you do that. And John, we were talking, I want you to ask these guys a question. We were talking about how you grow up and your relationship with your primary caregivers, specifically your mother, impacts your adult relationships going on. I know you're interested in that.
I could see where it would. I have so many questions for you, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners do as well, but I could see how, you know, patterns that developed when you were younger, as far as the way either you were treated or that you felt kind of the sense of abandonment, and then trying to develop a healthy relationship makes it hard, because you tend to go, uh-oh, this is happening again, and you go back to that whole childhood memory, whatever the case may be. Without getting into details about my childhood, do you find that to be true? Do you?
Oh yes, right. So if I learned growing up it's not safe to reach out to you, or to anybody for that matter, that you might talk over me, or your emotions might get so big there's no room for my emotions, I might be afraid of you expressing your feelings. I might not feel very safe with that. And we were talking about sort of that primary emotional experience. A lot of times it's fear. Right? Is there enough room for me in your feelings? You know, especially for a lot of our guys, where they're like not sure how to say things, they're not sure what feelings look like even sometimes. It can be very daunting for them to move into emotional conversation, and they need some practice, especially if they've never been taught or they've never seen what these things look like.
All right, we've got a lot of calls lined up. If you two, would you all mind staying on board here? We've got a trio of experts, as you can see, licensed marriage and family therapists. We're going to take your calls. We'll be right back on Wave 3 Listens. Welcome back to Wave 3 Listens. Dr. Eli Karam, who is a licensed marriage and family therapist, is here, along with two of his colleagues, and we're taking your calls. 571-5263. We have Christina on the line. Christina, welcome to the show.
Yes, I have a question for the doctor.
Sure, go ahead.
Me and my husband, we work through our problems, but he's always staying gone. He's never home. He don't even live at home hardly. And I was wondering, what do I do to get him to live at home?
What do you do to get him to engage with you at home?
Yes, to get him where he wants to stay home and live at home.
Okay. Where's he living now?
He lives at his sister's, his grandmother's, wherever.
Mm-hmm. And what was his rationale for that, Christine?
He keeps saying, oh, I'm looking for a job. I'm out looking for a job, and it's never looking for a job.
Yeah, well, it's hard to work on a relationship, especially a committed, monogamous one, if you're not going to be in the same space. So we often think of safety as physical safety or emotional safety. People don't talk about the third type of safety, which is a commitment safety. So you really need, are you in or are you out? So, and if you're in, you know, my colleague next to me here, Patricia, has a husband that travels a lot. So it's one thing if your husband travels internationally for work. It's another thing if they're in the same town, but they can't stop. So I think it's important to kind of establish a connection point, and that's living together. And if you're not living together, it's really hard to work on the relationship. Distance is costly. So I think you want to get him on board, and that means being in the house.
All right. Thank you for the call. Let's talk to Susan. Susan, welcome to the show.
Hey, Susan.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes,
What's
go
your
ahead.
question?
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hi. I have been married twice and been abused physically and mentally. And I was wanting to know, my second marriage and stuff, when I got a divorce from him and stuff, my son died, and he's not the natural father, but he did take $50,000 of the death money, and I didn't get any of it. How would I get the money back?
Well, unfortunately, Susan, we are not lawyers. We're marriage and family therapists, but I'll tell you what, marriage and family therapists do help a lot of people disentangle from relationships. So we're talking both with Patricia and Michael here how to about create connection, but many marriage and family therapists work with couples that are either ending a relationship or still have some purpose left as far as co-parenting, so how to have a limited partnership with their ex. And many marriage and family therapists also work with people grieving. So it sounds like you lost your son. I'm sorry to hear that. But as far as your financial issues, that's probably something for a family lawyer.
Okay, thank you very much for the call. I want to go back quickly, if we could, to the emotionally focused therapy. Question for you. You were talking about the cycles, and I think you're right. Most couples fight about one thing. It's usually pretty central, and they keep going through the same process, fight, make up, same issues. No one really changes their position. So both parties can have a legit position and a legit gripe, but they're handling it wrong. So is that where you step in? You kind of say, okay, here are the rules. Do you actually give advice on how to, you know, this one's right, this one's wrong, or do you just kind of listen and go, okay, well, we're going to let you work it out? I mean,
the primary goal of EFT is to appreciate each person's position and understand deeply where it comes from. Because if you can drill down from that secondary emotion, the anger, the fighting, the shutting down, and you can understand what's under it, and you can honor in each of them that they each have the right to feel the way they do, that neither one's really wrong or right, and they start to appreciate each other's position, they can move to another way of going at their difficulties, fights.
Or be comfortable with not having certain things worked out even. If I feel safe and we don't agree, I'm still going to feel safe when I'm done.
You know what we say on the show a lot, that it's great when a relational problem is solvable, but many times, in fact, there's a lot of research that says 69% of all couple issues aren't solvable. They're perpetual. They're there. So it's not about being right or wrong. It's about validating your partner's emotional experience of where they're at. So even if it didn't upset me, if I know how it impacts my partner, how it upset them, and a lot of times, as we were saying in that last segment, it's because of something that even predates the relationship. relationship. Right. You can get triggered an attachment wound, as EFT works with, something that happened growing up with your primary caregivers, your family of origin. You can have an attachment wound re-triggered in the here and now, and sometimes your partner doesn't even know about that. So a model like emotion-focused therapy is going to help kind of repair that. And the reason the three of us do what we do, and all licensed marriage and family therapists, is we believe that you can go from insecurely attached, you can have a rough upbringing and still find security, connection, safety in all your adult romantic relationships. And that was could be one of my other questions for you guys is, why do you do this, and what you can share a story or anecdote that might resonate with one of our viewers who is kind of on the fence, kind of has a stigma about therapy or getting help, but maybe could be nudged by a testimonial for what marriage and family therapists do, which is see strength and health, and even in the most constrained type of relationship.
Yeah, one of the couples that I was trying to reach out to, just as a follow-up last week, wrote back to me this beautiful email about, one, they were hesitant to come into therapy because they felt if this didn't work, it's like they feel it's their last-ditch effort. If they come into couples therapy and it doesn't work, they're ending up divorced. So there was a lot of fear in coming in. They came in and they were in very high distress. And it's been about a year since I've seen them, but one of their email responses, both of them responded beautifully, but was how they still each don't know, like he doesn't know what he's going to be when he grows up, and keeps getting hooked into promotions and trying to figure out another way to do life. But at the end of their day, the best part of their day is each other in their relationship. And for me, it just touched my heart to hear from them.
That speaks volumes. Let's grab another call real quickly. I think we've got Gerald with us. Is that correct? I want to make sure I'm right. Gerald, welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Hi, how you doing, sir?
Hello, go ahead.
What's your question, Gerald?
I was going to say, in the beginning of me and my wife's marriage, I was the primary breadwinner, so I kind of made all the decisions and things like that. Well, the change in the economy about 2007, I lost my job. I was out of work for about 18 months, got back on my feet. She's kind of been really focused on her career, which is kind of taking off, and kind of feels like it's a lot of tension in our household. Now we kind of argue a lot more than we used to, and it's just real uneasy feelings a lot of times. We blow up and we kind of make up, and we keep going through this cycle, I feel like. And I just want to see how can we get back on an even playing field, or how can we...
Yeah, it's a good question. So a couple of things. First of all, yeah, if you come from traditional gender roles, where in this case the male is the breadwinner, and that was switched because of the downturn in the economy, that brings up a lot of issues, how we value ourselves. And marriage and family therapists consider equity in a relationship. I always say, I don't know any relationship where people make the exact same amount of money. They do the exact same amount of housework. Equity in a relationship is defined, are you working as hard as this as your partner is? Do you both feel like you're all in, you're giving 100%? And couples that do usually don't score keep, they don't play tit for tat, and they feel valued by their partner. However, if you defined yourself that way and you got a lot of your meaning and self-worth out of your job, and then that was switched, in fact reversed with your wife now taking on that role, that can bring up a lot of things, especially around, couples fight about more than anything else, more than sex, more than in-laws, they fight about money. Yep. So how to distribute the money can be an issue. But a marriage and family therapist is going to teach you how to fight fair, whether you use a model like emotionally focused therapy like we're talking about today, or just basic conflict avoidance or fair fighting skills, or ways to kind of de-escalate once you get in that cycle. Marriage and family therapists can help you do that. So certainly no stigma in going to see a marriage and family therapist. We believe in strength and health, and pretty easy to find one, which we always talk about on the show. So let me tell you how you can find these two guys sitting next to me, or any of the almost 400 licensed marriage and family therapists in Kentucky. As I said, many of those are centrally located right in Wave Country. So you got two options. You can go to therapistlocator.net, and you go to that red rectangular box you see on the screen, locate a therapist. What you will put in there is your zip code, and up that will come a list of all the therapists in your area. Many of them will have their own profiles, and in those profiles, many of them will have their own web pages. So you go there, you look at the profile, you find a therapist that looks like someone you or your partner would want. You have a reluctant partner, as we said on the phone before. Involve them in that process. Let them pick. And any LMFT, that stands for Licensed Marriage and Family Therapist, worth their salt, is going to talk to you on the phone for a couple minutes, kind of ask you what's going on, assess fit, and then if you like it, you set up an appointment. And it's that simple.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to try to grab one more call real quickly. Gary is with us. Gary, good afternoon. Welcome.
Doing okay?
Yes, go ahead.
I feel like I've been in this relationship for 20 years, and it seems like I'm damned as I do and damned as I don't. Don't matter if it seems like I try to do the right thing, and I'm damned as I do and damned as I don't.
Yeah, so you're feeling kind of hopeless, Gary, and you're kind of deciding, thinking about, do I hang in there, or do I do something different? Do I exit the relationship? Is that where you're at?
Yeah.
Well, many marriage and family therapists see clients that are ambivalent, kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So what you can do, again, marriage and family therapists, it's a misnomer that they only see couples and families. It's how they think about you in all your interpersonal contexts. So actually, a national average, marriage and family therapists see half of their caseload are individuals. So you could go see a marriage and family therapist for what we call a period of discernment, where they help you kind of weigh the pros of staying, helping you move towards acceptance or tolerance for some of those things about your relationship or your partner you don't really like, and also weigh out what it would look like to be out of that 20-year relationship. And if you decide that there's more pros than cons, marriage and family therapist is going to be able to work with you and get your partner on board, and then do the work to hopefully kind of repair and get on top of that cycle. So, you know, thanks for calling. And again, marriage and family therapist going to help you whether you know you want to be in the relationship, exit the relationship, or you're kind of in between. They're going to help you kind of chart a course.
All right, once again, KAMFT and dot, and that's the TWC, right?
Yeah, KMFT at TWC.com. There's where you send the emails. That informs our questions and our topics every week. And again, I got to thank my friends and colleagues here, two people I'm very close with, Patricia Sheldon, Michael Taylor, both members of the Kentucky Association for Marriage and Family Therapy and great couples therapist, working with emotionally focused therapist, EFT.
Thank you, Eli.
I could keep you guys busy for a long time. Thank you very much. Appreciate your expertise, really do. Maybe we can have them back. Can we do that sometime?
We probably will. We'd like to get bring one of her couples in here.
I would love that. Oh, that'd be neat. All right, more with Dr. Karam maybe on another Thursday. He comes in quite often. One of my favorite guests. All right, coming up, going to look good during the summer. We've got some specials coming your way. They're celebrating a big anniversary. That's right. Avante Skin Center of Louisville is in the house. We'll be right back on Wave 3 Listens.
My money back from him, Johnny. How do I get my money back?
How do I get my Yeah, he took $50,000. Would you handle that? Well, he said, we're not about money, but we can help you with the repercussions. Right.
Thank you.
That was fun. Good job, you guys. Very nice. Really nice to meet you. Really nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Michael, nice to meet you. Really good job. Really nice. I've got such good bedside manner. Yeah, they're good. They're nice. All right, speaking of nice, here we go. Ashley and Jamie are in the house. Happy anniversary.
Okay, I gotta try to sit straight.
Win a house, help a child. Hello, I'm Shannon Kogan, here to tell you about Cosair Children's Hospital's raffle. You could win this home in Norton Commons or a 2014 3 Series BMW from Sam Swope BMW and $10,000 cash. Buy your ticket before midnight, September 12th, and you could also win groceries from Walmart for a year. You could win it all. Tickets are only $100. Call 559-KIDS. Visit helpcosairchildrenshospital.com, our open houses, or these sponsors.
Fix it and finish it. Here's how it works. You have an ugly room in your home. You have an ugly room. You keep guests away. You don't like your family to see it. It's really just bad. It's old 70s wallpaper. Take a picture of it. Go to wave3.com and click on the Fix It and Finish It icon. Barry Uli may be coming to your house and he'll redo the entire room. That's right, a total renovation courtesy of Barry Uli and his team for 20 viewers. So if you have a room, take a picture of it. I'm embarrassed. That's okay. We'll fix it. Fix it and finish it with wave3.com. All right, summertime is here. You got to take care of that skin. And two ladies who are experts in the field. That's what they do. From the Avante Skin Center of Louisville, Ashley Snellen is with us once again. Jamie Bryant. Ashley.
Yes.
Jamie, welcome.
Thank you.
You guys look very nice, but there's a reason. They're celebrating, folks. 8th anniversary today.
Well, tonight's our open house.
But tonight's the open house.
July is always our anniversary month.
Anniversary. So you guys have been in the business 8 years.
Yes.
So you started when you were like 16. Good. You did good. You did good. You look nice. I'm excited about it. So how do you celebrate at Avante Skin Center the 8th anniversary? How do you do that?
Well, we do it upright. Champagne, cupcakes,
wine,
lots of door prizes. Everyone gets a gift. So everyone's going to have a little birthday gift, and there will be something in their gift that they can either take home with them or call back and use at a later time.
If you're thinking about a procedure to look younger, feel younger, you know, it all starts with the Avante Skin Center of Louisville. If you would, Jamie, maybe you can tell us about some of the procedures that you offer, because I think there are a lot of folks maybe who have questions, and tonight at your open house would be a good chance to talk to both of you exactly what you do. Go ahead.
Okay. Some of the simple things are things like Botox and Dysport that work pretty quickly to soften your fine lines, wrinkles, however you want to say. They're huge. Small amount of time to be effective and last for about 3 or 4 months. So summer's a big time of the year for weddings, and personally I've got a 30-year reunion coming up. I'll be making sure everything is kicked in.
That's hard to believe. You really have a 30-year reunion.
Yeah,
for kindergarten or what? What are you talking about? No.
But I'm just saying, everybody wants to look good for certain things. Weddings, reunions, Botox, Dysport, fillers, those are all easy things you can do. Timing, maybe a little more so with fillers, I mean, because you might get a bruise. But other than that, that's huge. And even just basic skincare, wearing your sunscreen, lighteners for discolorations. So there's lots of options.
And Ashley, now if you have a friend, there's actually a bonus here. If you have a friend and you're both kind of sharing the same dilemma, you're going, you know what, we are getting a few wrinkles. Let's help each other out. If you bring a friend tonight, there's something in it for you.
Yes. If you bring a friend tonight, then you and your friend will receive an extra gift certificate for $50 off Botox.
Okay, there's the information on the screen. And that happens tonight.
Yes.
And it starts at 4 o'clock and goes till 6 o'clock.
Yes.
You guys are located there in the Westport Village. I know where you're at. It's a great location. Go on and ask questions. And as you mentioned, door prizes, cupcakes, wine and champagne, nice combination.
Yes. Now, the extra bonus for bringing a friend is just tonight at the open house, but our specials will continue from tonight through the end of July. So they have the whole month, or the remaining month of July, to take part in our specials. And our anniversary specials are 20% off a single service. We have our Artefill, which is our long-lasting dermal filler. Buy 2 syringes, get 1 free, which is a savings of $1,000. We have a product special as well. Buy 2 products, get your third half price.
Wow. From what I know about Artefill, correct me if I'm wrong, but Artefill can actually save you money in the long run, because rather than have to get a filler every year, you can go 5 years. Is that right?
Yes.
5 years?
Yes.
And there's research that even shows in Europe that it lasts longer than that, but here in the States it'll say 2 to 5 years, but it really works. It lasts.
There's a 10-year study that's being ready to be published. So it's a great filler. We've been doing it for years, so we feel very comfortable with that filler.
Whenever I get the two of you on, Jamie and Ashley, when I get you guys on, I like to pick your brain a little bit. I think I was telling you one time, I was reading in one of my men's health magazines, they said if you're getting ready for a reunion, the question was to the expert in the magazine, what can I do to look younger, suddenly younger? And their answer was Botox. Is that still the case, or is there anything else you can do to look younger pretty quickly?
It is. I mean, just like Jamie said, it's something that kicks in within a few days. It's going to last you 3 to 4 months. Softens everything, takes some age and tire off your face.
And it's not one of those things where people are going to look at you and say, what did you do?
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to be drastic.
No, they'll just know you look better. Yeah.
Is that, would